glad to be here, and I thank Mr. Lakshminarayanan and ICT Act for inviting me here. I have been in the formal education sector. I've been at Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta and Delhi for a long time, and last 4 years I have been here at Chennai Math Institute. So, taking into account the topic of today's session, I'm going to be talking about teachers for the next generation. I'm not going to focus only about preparing students for industry jobs or for this or for that. I'm going to talk about in general how the entire paradigm of teaching and learning should be changing over time. So, when we talk about teachers for the next generation, first thing we should do is we should understand what is this next generation that we are talking about, and how is that generation different from the previous generation, or for that matter from the generation when I grew up. So when we say next generation, let's say we are talking about students who are born in the 21st century. So they are, say, in the age group 10 to 15 now, and would be entering the colleges in the next few years. Well, the world has changed, and India has changed even more from the time that I went to school to now. Today's generation is what we may call instant generation. Everything should happen very fast. This is the Facebook generation, WhatsApp generation, Twitter generation, a generation which thinks that sending an email is too slow because it takes for quite some time to get an answer. You should send an instant message. So this is the generation, and I'm not saying this as a positive or negative, this is just as a matter of fact. If we have to teach this generation, we have to understand this generation and fine-tune our methods, our approach, so that we are able to address this generation. There's no point telling them that no, forget all this. You have to go, when we were students, this is how it happened and this is exactly how we are going to do it for you. That's simply not going to work. So, the impatience is another issue with this short attention span. So email is boring because it can be several paragraphs. SMS is short because it has a character limit. So attention span is small, and so if we want to teach these students, we have to take this into account. We have to package whatever we want to teach them so that they can grasp it in this short attention span. Several instances thereof, of course. So that's a reality. If we look at what exactly do we mean by teaching? So one way of looking at teaching is its transfer of knowledge. Now, in the olden days, let's say when I was a student, there was a scenario where even forget internet or anything like that, books were also in short supply. Good books may not have been available to all students, so the teacher would read from a good book and then come and read it out in the class or write it out on the board. Students will faithfully write it down in their notes and then read it later. Now, that was all right for those days, but today, if we practice the same today, it's an extremely, extremely inefficient way of using the time and resources. So, we have to change. So now let's break down, when I say transfer of knowledge, knowledge could be one of several things. First thing could be information, just knowing what it is. It could be, if we are talking about teaching a computer language, it could be just what is the structure of commands, how do you write this, how do you write that, or in physics or chemistry, what does this term mean? What does that term mean? In mathematics, likewise, what is the definition of such and such term? So these are information. And this one could impart very easily by using modern technology. Of course, textbooks are there, and which we can now make it very easily. So textbooks, e-books, websites. The role here of the teacher would be that if student just does a Google on a particular term, you are going to get so many hits. It is up to the teacher to point out to the students what are the relevant pages. So either he gives links to those pages or gets those pages on another website and shows them or whatever. So no need to go and write down in longhand on the blackboard long definitions or long essays on a concept. It is best to direct the students to a particular source. So this is a change which, and this is whether you are preparing for industry, for basic science, as I said, this is a generic change we need to bring in the way teaching is taken up. And it is at school, it is at college, it is at institutes, at all levels. So this knowledge, I said, first component was information, and that is very easily done with modern technology. The other part of teaching or transfer of knowledge is to give the students analytical capability. Now that is easier with some interaction. It's not so easy, but it's not the same as just you write down on the book, students read it, or point to a website and students read it and then it's all done. No. So this is where the next level depends on what context we are talking. In a classroom, in a face-to-face, one could explain these concepts, or one could create innovative videos where a teacher is explaining these concepts, not just reading out from some book, but explaining concepts via examples, via case studies, via projects, by whatever means available. And once again, it is not one size fits all. It's not that for each one concept I just create one video and now anybody who wants to read this can follow that. It would have to be targeted. Whom are you addressing? You are understanding undergrad students, you are addressing postgraduate students, you are understanding people who have worked in the industry for a few years and now they are come for a retraining on a short span. So depending on the context, the same thing can be packaged in multiple formats and can be delivered. So I covered information and analytical capabilities or fundamentals. Fundamentals, it's best done face-to-face, and if it has to be done via a massive online course, kind of a framework which is done through video and so on, that should be supplemented by face-to-face sessions in short groups. So in this case, we would have to actually train the trainers, the people who come to, so the main content is being delivered in an online or a massive scale, and let's say the students in city of Chennai or students in Tiruvanmiyur, depending on what is the reach and how many students there are, they get together to a place and they come face to face with one person. He's teacher or he has been trained through another such module. Now, in this, it's one thing you read something and you just you just grasp the English, but you don't quite digest that information. So to facilitate that, one needs to have face-to-face discussion. The discussion could be amongst the students who are learning. This trainer who has come there, he can start a discussion, invite a student. What did you understand? What did you understand from this? Ask others whether they agree with it, and so on. So when it comes to deeper understanding of concepts and fundamentals, such interactions would play a major role, and this one should do even if it is not a massive online course. If it's only one, if I am teaching a class, basic information I can give in terms from books, or from notes I distribute, or from website I direct them to, and whatever time I have in face-to-face time with the students, we spend that time in discussing fundamentals, analytical capabilities, and so on and so forth, and not go over material which is already there, can be easily distributed. Now, this way of doing things will also achieve another purpose which several of the preceding speakers in different contexts have come out with, and that is bookish knowledge versus softer skills, presentation skills, talking to, having confidence. In various terms, various speakers use these terms, and they all point to that this rat race about maximizing marks and scoring the maximum somehow is killing other skills which should be there. They could have been there. For example, we talk about leadership skills and communication skills, etc., etc. In the olden days, maybe they didn't teach it in the context of classroom education, but then there were enough sports activities, other extracurricular activities, which gave people a scope to develop these additional skills of leadership, communication, understanding others, patience, all these things. So one should do all that. In any case, if we can find time and have for extracurricular activities. But what I'm saying is that what in the new paradigm that I'm suggesting, if we bring that in, that of more interactive sessions, spending more time on concepts and fundamentals and doing away with exchange of information faster. When we do that, naturally at these other skills of starting with addressing a group, willingness to express your thoughts, getting into an exchange of ideas, disagreeing, saying no, disagreeing, arguing your point, all this is part of soft skills which is definitely lacking in today's generation, and that primarily the blame also has to come to the system that excessive focus on bookish knowledge is killing all that. If we change this paradigm, we can transfer this knowledge, whatever needs to be transferred, and in addition develop this what I would call social skills, which are very, very important in this world. Once again, it should not be one size fits all. It would have to be targeted to a group, targeted to a subject, targeted to a context, but we have to change. We cannot go on and on about the way I was taught a particular course. I will just come and now I will exactly do this. If it was good enough for me and I have come this far, it should be good enough for my students. You have to change that attitude. Yet another point which again was mentioned by some of the speakers earlier is that the excessive focus on bookish knowledge, in addition to students not having softer skills, they are also unaware of the world around them. And maybe if they are going into R&D, it may be okay. I don't think so, but at best it may be okay. But when they are going in a job environment, they have to be aware of the world around them. This is something which, how to do it is a different question. It may not be, if I have asked to teach a particular course, I can't create this awareness while teaching that course. So extracurricular activities, extra credits for awareness programs, whatever we call it, that somehow needs to be roped into the curriculum itself. So it may not be just part of what one teacher can do, but what the system can do. So my firm belief is that as a whole, the educators, the planners, the people who develop curriculum, people who decide these things, collectively we have to give some thought of changing the whole way we are going around this business of imparting education, because the world has changed. The world has changed in a big way. There are far more efficient ways of doing what was done 20 years ago available today. We have to utilize that. And we have to, as I once again stress, we have to also understand that the children today are growing up in a very different environment, so we have to cater to that need, take that into account, and redraw whatever we have been doing all these years. Since I said attention span is small, let me also not take too much time. As it is, we are running late, and I think I have made the basic points I wanted to make, so let me stop. Thank you.